Well guys, I bought a car and I'm not sure if it's gonna end up being worth it because this car is completely wrecked, and I'll show you guys here in a second. But it's a base model 5-speed RSX and it's got the whole drivetrain, so engine, trans, harness, computer, it's all there. So it's pretty bad though, and I hope it ended up being worth it. I got it for basically a couple $100. Here's the car. This car is in very rough condition. There's no saving this chassis. From the pictures that I saw, I originally thought maybe the chassis would be saved. When I got there, I knew right away there's no way. This whole frame rail has been pushed over. This tie rod has been broken, and the wheel, you have to push it with your foot just to keep it tracking right. All four sides of the pillars, you know, both sides of the pillars are completely crunched in. I don't know how this happened, but the door hinge broke. The door hinge is completely broken. I don't know if that happened before the accident. I don't know what the deal is with that, but that door does not come off right. It only has the check bar to keep it in place. And you can see the pillar here is completely crunched in, and the whole quarter panel has been destroyed, completely destroyed. I do hope this has a factory cat on it, because that'll help cut down on some of the costs. I can sell that. But if it doesn't, no big deal. I am going to take the aluminum wheels off and I'm going to scrap those separately. I'll put some spares on there. I might end up taking this quarter glass. I'm definitely going to take that door and that mirror. I'm going to take that whole piece there because I can definitely sell that. I'm going to take this headlight. Unfortunately, the other headlight is busted. The plastic mount is broken, so I won't be able to take that. So I'll take what I can off the car, and from there I'll just take it to the scrap yard. It's in pretty rough condition. Hopefully it ends up being worth it. I know it's not like the most prime engine to grab, but the transmission was definitely worth $500 to me. Also the computer, it has the computer still in it. I already checked. Nobody took out the computer. So the computer's still in it. Let's see if we can get this hood up. I know this latch is pretty messed up. I'll figure that out later. I did have it open already. I was checking it out quite a bit. Almost didn't pick this up. I originally went out there and looked at it, and I didn't buy it right away. I told them I would think about it, but I talked to a couple people. I have somebody who potentially wants to buy the engine. I'm not very interested in having this engine. It's just a K20A3, and if I can sell the engine, then I can make back some of the money I spent on this. Mostly I'm just interested in the harness, the computer, and the half shaft. But there's the car, so I'll get started pulling out the engine, and I'll keep you guys updated along the way so you can see the process. Got the hood open. Latch has definitely seen better days, so I put that rag over it so it won't latch anymore. Everything's here. You can see this frame rail got pushed over completely. I'm not sure if the strut tower has been pushed over. I'm sure it has a little bit. The engine's all here. Oil's still in it. Looks good. Like I said, I couldn't run this thing because it was vandalized. The ignition switch was all punched out. A bunch of fuses were taken out of it. Somebody definitely ransacked some parts off it. I'm not sure what they wanted with this stuff. But it's all there. Hopefully it's not too hard to pull it out with it being wrecked. The engine bay doesn't seem like it's too wrecked, but you never know until you get into it. But I don't care about the chassis, so if I have to cut some stuff out, I'm not too concerned about it. But I thought I would show you guys that. I'm gonna get it pushed in my bay here so I can start getting to work on it. I'm gonna go get something to eat before I pull the engine out. My goal is to have everything out today so I can take it to the scrap yard sometime at the beginning of next week. I don't have to work today. That's my plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. Managed to get the car into my stall on the lift. It was kind of a pain because this tie rod is broken on this side. You can't really see it, but tie rod's broken. Also, the strut mount on the top was unbolted for some reason, so when I lifted it up in the air, the whole strut fell out. But transmission was fine. I didn't see any damage to the transmission case, which I was a little worried about. And the engine seems fine. I know the engine was running after the accident. Axles look fine. We'll be able to tell more when we get it down. And it does have the factory cat on it, which is a plus. I was pretty excited to see that. Shouldn't take me longer than a day. I probably am gonna stick a tie rod on this car before I take it to the scrapyard. It is a lot easier to push it around when both wheels are able to turn from the steering wheel. There's a lot of spiders on this car. A lot of spider eggs, a lot of spiders. There was a huge brown recluse sitting inside under the carpet when I pulled it back. The underside didn't take too much damage. Subframe is coming out. And yes, I know you're not supposed to hang the calipers, but this car is going to the scrapyard, so I don't care. Alright guys, so we got the engine out. Only took about 2 hours or so. So not bad. Of course we're pulling it out junkyard style where we're just cutting hoses and stuff. So now at this point I'm going to use the crane right here and I'm going to take the engine off of this hydraulic table so I can put the subframe back on. So I can get it back up in the car and make this a roller again so I can get it to the scrapyard. Also still need to pull out the cables and the shifter unit, but I already grabbed the computer, so other than that I'm not really going to be grabbing anything else off this car besides the door and some of the other stuff I talked about earlier. But engine's out and we are one step closer to getting everything we need off this car. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to get this shifter out. And should just be these 4 bolts. Because there's no engine or transit. So pretty much done scrapping stuff off the car. I do still need to grab the door on the other side and the mirror, but I'm going to do that later because I want to go home. But you can see here I got all the wheels. I'm just going to scrap these as aluminum. I'll take the tires off. You know, this one broke and I don't really have any use for these. And I have the engine, trans, harness, basically this whole setup here. And I already have someone who's going to buy the engine, so I'm just going to keep the trans. And I do have the factory cat, and I got the shifter cables and the axles and the half shaft. So not much I kept from it, but I only paid, you know, I'll be in this car about 800 bucks when it's all said and done, and that's not even including me getting some money for some of this stuff. So it was worth it. One day's work to pull it all apart. It's only been about 4 hours or 5 hours, and I actually did, and I got the computer sitting over here in the back of the Integra. So I needed the computer anyway because I need a computer for Honda, and I needed the shifter, or I needed the axles and the half shaft anyway. So it was worth it to go ahead and buy this car. So he was just going to take it to the scrapyard and have it crushed with all the stuff in it, and I was like, you know what, I'll pick it up, I'll take everything out of it, and I'll take it to the scrapyard. So it worked out for both of us. And now I have some spare parts. A lot of this stuff was already scrapped. I would have taken like the door panels and stuff, but all that stuff is already gone. I might come back and grab that steering wheel and put it in the Integra. Just depends on how busy I am and how much I really want it. What's up, Damon?
Just checking this bitch out, bro.
Yeah, I know my glove's torn, but I'm not replacing it because I'm done. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.